The Destroy All Humans remake came out on Steam in 2020, and it's a recreation of the cult classic with the same name. With the sequel getting its own recreation coming out on August 30th, I thought this would be a great time to look at the remake of the original. This remake sets out to preserve the original game, keeping all the original voice line recording, with no changes to its off-the-curb humor. That isn't to say that there aren't any quality of life changes. The developers added directed cutscenes, additional abilities to spice up the gameplay, and even added extra content which was cut from the original, a trend which I've seen among THQ remakes. The remake is a great way to play the game for the first time, and a great experience for the fans who played the original games. This can be seen with the Wait, it's just very positive? This can be seen with the very positive reviews this game has. But what about those who disagree? Who dislike the game so much that they went out of their way to write a negative review about it? Just what is it about this game that they dislike, or even hate so much? That's when I decided to look at all 550 negative Steam reviews to find out. Surprisingly enough, there weren't very many meme reviews. Out of all the reviews, I've only seen one buy this masterpiece type of review. I saw a cool combo of 3 different reviews. One with a single dot, one with a single comma, and another with a single dash. You could type out an entire message in Morse code with this. I've seen 2 reviews comparing this game to Saints Row 4, which I just found very interesting, especially because there were 2 of them. Now, I've never played the Saints Row games, so I can't really say anything, but Saints Row and Destroy All Humans are under the same publisher. Also, while sorting through the reviews, I've seen 2 different reviews posted months apart right next to each other, which I found kind of funny for some reason. That's about it for the meme reviews. Let's take a look at the more serious reviews and complaints about this game. But before we do that, I would just like to remind you to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Cheers. Very repetitive. Way too repetitive. I don't think that this game deserves a negative review, but there is no possibility to write a neutral one, and a positive review would be too much. The main problem with the game is that it is merely boring. After several first missions, you feel that you've played everything. Distract, disguise, recharge, disguise, recharge, disguise again, scan a cow. By the time you get to any actual quote-unquote gameplay, it's boring and pedestrian. Nice game, but way too short for its price. I love the series, but this was not worth 30 bucks. Fun game, but way too easy. The game is honestly worth $10 to $15, not 30. Destroy All Humans has 3 different game styles for its main missions. The shootouts on foot, the stealth sections, and pure destruction while flying in the saucer. The game presents all 3 of these styles within the first 2 missions of the game. While I do think the game adds a lot of variation via additional upgrades and new weapons, you can easily see what the game has to offer from the first 30 or so minutes of gameplay. This is where Destroy All Humans can fall a bit flat if you're hoping for a change of pace. This can be upsetting to some, especially when they've paid the full price of 40 euros for the game. There are many reviews complaining about the high price of Destroy All Humans, and they tell you to buy the game only when it's on sale. Some of these reviews also mention the gameplay loop. If you don't want to be spoiled, you can skip to the end of the timestamp, or to the time shown on screen. Yeah, this final boss was quite annoying for me as well. Although I didn't have too much trouble and I beat it on my second try, both phases of the boss were just massive bullet sponges in a marathon. I spent about 20 minutes on the second phase, and throughout the battle, I went from full health to being one hit away from dying multiple times. I was eventually able to piece together that if you shoot her mid-air, her attack gets cancelled. There is a hint for this in the form of an optional task, which was really helpful in finding out how to beat the bosses quote-unquote quickly. The boss wasn't really hard, but it just felt a bit mind-numbing to me. This game was originally made in 2005, and it shows with its game design. With difficulty spikes, like the mission where you take the nuke to Area 42, or the final boss like we just mentioned. Thankfully, you can replay older missions and return to older hub worlds, where you can complete extra challenges, or collect Furon bots to get more DNA for upgrades quite easily. Fun casual game. The graphics and dialogue is fun. Thanks for telling me that the game is made by Liberal. I couldn't know that from the quote-unquote, the very subtle preaching. While the game is still fun to play after all these years, and looks better than ever, the humor goes past tongue-in-cheek to outright America bashing. No wonder this game was able to be remade. Its sense of humor can be boiled down to, America sucks, herder. The leftists who made this game even threw in a little history revisionism, having the soldiers brag about slaughtering Korean villages. What a disgusting insult to the memory of the brave men and women that died in the conflict protecting the Koreans from Chinese aggression. If you're looking for a reprieve from the culture war, you won't find it here. Vote with your wallet. The gameplay is solid enough for me to overlook the game's constant America bashing, but it does get old fast. I was excited for this game for the nostalgia factor. There's definitely funny moments that I like, but it's loaded with pretty heavy homophobic and misogynistic one-liners that left a bad taste in my mouth. If you're someone who cares about that kind of stuff, you'd probably feel the same way. 90% of the humor is liberal horse love. It's a game from 2005, poking fun at the American lifestyle in the 1960s. From what I've heard, all the game's lines were taken from the 2005 original. I imagine that this would include the lines from the Korean villages. But as I haven't played the original, I couldn't tell you. If anyone who sees this video has, please let me know in the comments if these lines were included in the original. Regarding the reviews saying that the game is misogynistic, I believe that these jokes not only reflect the time that the game was made, but is also a reflection of the 1960s America culture and mindset. That's all I have for this point really, but I thought it was mentioning since there were quite a few people talking about it. I personally just did not enjoy playing this game that much. I was initially very excited for it since I had played the original games as a kid and thought this would be just as good. It overall felt very repetitive. Overall, I do not want to call this a bad game or say that others will not enjoy it. I just found that, for myself, it was not what I was expecting or remembered from the original. For what it is worth, however, I found the game to be impressive visually. I really like the more cartoonish style that they remade the game into, and with a decent monitor, the colors really pop. If purchased during a sale, this game might be worth considering, otherwise I would recommend to watch some gameplay before buying. I feel like a mug. I knew it would be the case, but the nostalgia and love for the original blinded me. This is the exact same old game you know. I'll admit there are two things changed to adapt it for our current era. Graphics have been improved enough to fit in with current capabilities. Cosmetic options are to be available by paying money. As this is a recreation of a 2005 game, many people who would buy this remaster hope to relive their childhood and to go back to much simpler times. And well, after revisiting the game for the first time in decades, they see the cracks of the game and see it for what it is, rather than the image that they built in their head. I left this section last as they mainly just repeat all of the topics I've mentioned in the video. Some of the negative reviews still respect this game very much and can appreciate what this game has done for them. Before we go to the conclusion of these reviews, there were a few long reviews that I didn't mention in this video because I didn't want this video to be 10 minutes of me reading a single review. However, these reviews are worth a quick read if you have the time, and I have based some of my points with these reviews in mind as well. From reading these negative reviews, I've concluded that people did not like Destroy All Humans because of the repetitive gameplay loops, large difficulty spikes, the humor, and some people just grew up and don't resonate with the game like they used to. While I did enjoy the game a lot, I agree that the game can feel a bit repetitive at times. For me, the game was best played when I just wanted to turn off my brain and relax for an hour or two. I would just like to remind you that this game has very positive reviews, and these are the unpopular opinions of the game. If you do want to try it out, don't be afraid to do so. Well, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and like. On the left, you will see my most recent video, and on the right, you will see a video talking about the history of THQ, the publisher of this very game. I just want to say that I did make the error in this video though. The THQ sale was for the weekend and has ended already. Cheers.